Uh, okay, let's get this going. Okay, hello. I am High Heel Knight. Welcome to my channel. I hope this broadcast is going much better than my previous live review slash rant I did with Prey. If it doesn't, then I'll have to figure else something out because I spent the past 2 days trying the different cameras I have and different setups I had, and I finally had a good setup with my webcam. Then when I'm try to position to a nice spot, I couldn't get it about position, so now I'm using a different camera. So I hope this is coming out well. I hope that everyone can hear me, and I hope it's not choppy. If it is choppy, if you are having any type of problems, or if it's coming out wrong or bad, let me know in the comment section. And hopefully I'll figure something out. Right now, I'm just letting a few folks hopefully come in before I just get going. But yeah, I'm doing my best. So just stick with me if this screws up. But yes, I am going to talk about the new movie Don't Worry, Darling, starring Chris Pine, Harry Styles, and Florence Pugh. And I saw it on Sunday, and I would have talked about it sooner, but again, I was trying to find a good way to have this little setup. That's the way I want to talk about movies uh, for the time being. I like being able to just get things off my chest, and I mathematically don't have a lot of time on my hands to really do a special dive in. But I will say this. I know there's a lot of controversy about the actors. Did this happen? Did that happen? Did the director Olivia Wilde do this? Did Florence Pugh do that? And of course, did Harry Styles do something particular on stage to Chris Pine? I'm not going to get into any of that. I found out about that stuff after seeing the movie, and honestly, there's so much silliness just on the surface stuff. I don't want to go in deep dive. I rather focus on the movie. My personal thing is, unless someone's committed a heinous crime, I really don't care what the actors do. I don't care about the drama between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. I don't care whatever is going on between Harry Styles and Chris Pine, or Olivia Wilde and whoever she's bothered or whatever. So I'm talking about the movie. Hopefully you've seen the movie, but all that actor drama, no. I don't care about any of that at all. So talking about the movie. So let's get into it. There will be that. Okay. So this is going to be the no spoiler section, and then I will let you know when the spoilers coming up. And then once this is fully uploaded to YouTube and I can deep dive into putting timestamps, hopefully I can be put timestamps on all this. But yes, here's the non-spoiler. Story finds Florence Pugh, and her character is living this seemingly wonderful life in a 50s suburban setting in a not technically gated community, but definitely an isolated community. And her husband is working on some top secret project. And the wives in the neighborhood, they're all loyal homemakers. They spend all day cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids they have them, going around shopping, drinking cocktails, and maybe going to the pool. They have a very leisurely life. I'm not saying that being a homemaker is easy. I'm not saying. I'm just saying there's a lot of things that's take care of. Basically, you keep the place home clean, have dinner on the table. Your life is going to be very smooth. You want to buy something, just say, I want that, want that, and it'll be shipped to your home like the next day or something like that. But something's very different and odd because, for one thing, there are a lot of interracial couples in this neighborhood, so it can't be the 50s. There's no way there's somebody that progressive in a very, very sterilized neighborhood like that for what's taking place in the 50s. So you know something's up, and you don't know what the secret project is that the husbands are working on. All of them are working on this secret project out in the middle of the desert, and the wives are told, whatever you do, do not go into the desert. That's the number one rule. So what's going on in the desert? What's the big plot? And Florence Pugh, she's seemingly slowly losing her mind as reality seems to unwind. She sees things, but everyone said, no, that didn't happen. That happened. She said, no, I saw this. I saw that. I saw this happened. This probably like, no, you're delusional. You're making it up. No one else saw it. So what is going on in this seemingly pristine life that Florence Pugh's character is doing? And Harry Styles is there looking handsome and debonair and suave. And Chris Pine, he seems to be perhaps the mastermind with some very nasty ulterior motive. Who knows? So that's basically everything I say before getting into the details. And I did like it until the end. But it's kind of those movies that's what I like to call Twilight Zone type of stories. If you're familiar with the Twilight Zone, as far as the show, they're usually 30 minutes or an hour. They give you an interesting premise, like a couple, they're in this neighborhood, but no one's in the neighborhood. Everything's empty. No one's around. No one's in need of home. No one's in need of cars. Why are they there by themselves? And it was revealed that, oh, they're actually dolls on an alien planet with these giant humanoid aliens. They collected these two people to give to a little girl as like playthings, something like that. Or the one where the group they're in the uh the community that's in a neighborhood, and there's that little boy whose imagination makes things real. Basically simple premise. And because the show is only a half hour, an hour, you can take the premise and whatever happens, happens. You enjoy it. Maybe a day or two later, think, oh, what about this? What about that? But still, you pretty much accept whatever happens. It's a fancy fairy tale. You move on. But with the movie, because it lasts longer, you wind up thinking about these questions. And as time progresses, there's so many fantastical stories now. There's so many interesting movies now. There's so many interesting philosophy now. Your mind really starts to wonder about things. And you come to question, how do certain things work? Like in Us, the Jordan Peele movie. That's about somehow, let's get spoilers for that movie, but somehow there are millions of people underneath the tunnels of America. They're all duplicates made by some secret organization. And it's like, okay, well, how long is this program going on? How is it that they have all these perfect duplicates? What happens when people transport themselves, when they go across country, when they go across state, heck, when they just go across certain blocks, when they're swimming, when they're running? It's just like, how does that all work? How do they all wind up getting the same jumpsuit? I don't know how do they order millions and millions of jumpsuits and millions of little gold daggers. And even though they pretty much get the jump on society, it's like, oh, they all still are successful. And what about babies? Are the little babies stuck in the underground place? It's like there's a whole lot of crazy questions that you bring up, and the movie doesn't answer. And that's the big problem with Don't Worry, Darling. It brings up a lot of questions with no answers. No answers at all. And it's very frustrating when you're waiting for the answer. It does give you some answers, but they're so small, they're so bare bones, you leave you with even more questions. So that's all I can say without spoilers. And now, hold on, let me give you the spoiler warning. So going into spoilers for Don't Worry, Darling, this is going to be the spoiler section. Spoilers from this point out. I'm going to spoil it all. I'm going to talk about it all. And I'm going to talk about a couple of things that I found just bizarre in the movie. So again, if you don't want to be spoiled, now's the time to go. Now's the time to leave. Spoilers from here point out. So here we go. Basically, the Don't Worry, Darling is basically the Stepford Wives meets the Matrix, but without any type of exposition from the architect or Morpheus or anything like that really fully explains what's going on in the world. So if you're not familiar with the Stepford Wives, I didn't see the original. I saw the one with Nicole Kidman. But basically, all these husbands feel emasculated because they have these super successful wives, actually super successful spouses. So there is one couple that's a male gay couple. Uh, they have all these super successful spouses, and they feel emasculated. They feel belittled. They feel ignored. They feel underappreciated. So they go to this isolated community, and slowly they replace their spouses with robot, android, cyborg duplicates. I don't know. Let's just say robots. Okay, robot duplicates. All right. Now we don't know what happens to the original uh, person. I don't know if they kill them. I don't know what they use them for materials. I don't know if they make them cyborgs and put the machinery into the whatever. Point is, the wives are slowly replaced with obedient servants that are always happy, that are always beautiful, that are always subservient. Daddy comes home, there's going to be food on the table. Daddy comes home, he wants sex, he's going to get sex. The woman's going to always orgasm. Then she'll go right back to cooking and cleaning whatever needs to be done. So that's a step for once. And then, of course, in the Matrix, you learn that humanity has been captured by the machines. The machines became sentient. And after a war between humans and machines started using people as energy sources. They hooked them up to this giant computer simulation. And every once in a while, people wake up from the simulation and they hopefully join the resistance or to get destroyed. But the machines are handling everything from birth to death. There's a whole tube in there to keep the bodies alive in this vegetative state while they, in the Matrix, are like running and growing and meeting and interacting with people. And in the second Matrix movie, there's an architect who explains everything. Actually, in the first one, Morbius talks about how humanity has been turned to batteries and what is real, how do you define real, and that kind of stuff. And then, of course, the architect, he talks about there's been multiple matrices, and Neo is the one, but he's the sixth one of these repetitive cycles. So you get a lot of explanation. And some people like it, some people don't, but at least it's there. Okay? At least you get some solid answers. But in Don't Worry, Darling, so it turns out that the husband lost his job. The wife, she's a surgeon, and she's working like 30-hour shifts at the oh goodness, what is it, the hospital and things. And it's like, okay, the husband gets on this internet, which I guess is for more fed up guys, and basically he gets these machinery, and he puts his wife in bed, and he locks her down, like ties her down with the straps, and injects her with some type of needle, I guess, to keep her in a comatose state, and has these clockwork orange type things on her eyes. And he goes in bed and also puts a clockwork thing on the eye. And basically, it sort of hypnotizes them into this matrix-like world. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But it leaves a lot of questions. For instance, the men, with the story is like the men, they go off into the desert. When they go off to the desert, they're actually exiting the program, I guess, and doing something for the company that runs this whole operation. But we never know what. We don't know what they're doing. In fact, Harry Styles, they're actually not only supposed to not talk with their wives, they're not supposed to talk about it with each other, the men inside the project. They're just supposed to do whatever they're supposed to do. Yet they're all excited. They're all like, this is a great opportunity. This is going to be a great change in the world. And Chris Pine's character is like, what are we doing? Changing the world. What are we doing? Changing the world. How? Are you terrorists? Are you inventing some type of new fission engine? Are you making robots? Are you actually trying to invent the Matrix? What are you actually doing? What is the overall project? And Chris Pine's character, he's like this guy that's clearly in control because he knows everything that's happening. Like Florence Pugh, she's like sort of waking up from the Matrix as it is. And yet he knows what she's been doing, where she's been going, what she's been out to. And it's like, well, if you're this sort of omnipotent presence, why are you allowing things to happen? Especially it's like, I want you to challenge me. I want you to push me. I want you to keep going. Like, no, you want control. This whole system is about control. So why would you want an unstable element? Are you bored? Are things too perfect? And again, what is this grand scene? You ever see the South Park the underpants gnomes, and like plan B, the 3-part plan, the first part of the plan, steal underpants, second part of the plan, question mark, third part of the plan, profit. It's like we're stuck in that question about what are these guys doing? Why are all these men willing to completely subjugate themselves and their wives to this lifestyle? And how long is it going to last? A year? Several years? Aren't the people in the outside world going to wonder, hey, whatever happened to, Susie? Whatever happened to Janet? Whatever happened to our surgeon? Whatever happened to our teacher? Whatever to our sister? Our cousin or whatever? What is the excuse of the outside world? And is that interview just going to, like, does the husband clean the wife and change her sheets or something like that? I don't know. It's just like there's so many questions. Whereas in the Matrix, they're all in those tubes. So they're just in the real world, whereas they're all plugged in into the Matrix. So that the machines take care of all that. But what are they doing in the real world? And again, Harry Styles' character is like, I hate what I do. I gotta leave this place. I gotta go do things that I hate. I hate every second. Then why do you keep doing it? Are you going to get killed if they do it? And what's so dangerous? What's so amazing that they gotta subjugate their wives and threaten to kill people? And there's even people inside the program. It's like, what are you doing? What like they're like these guys in red jumpsuits that are sort of like the agents because they just pop out of nowhere and just run and chase over things like that. And it's like, what is going on? What is the big problem? Progress. What are all these men doing, and why are they so excited for this opportunity? Oh, it's a wonderful opportunity. Oh, we're going to have this. Oh, we're going to get better. Oh, we're going to get more, promotion. To what? To what end? To what end? It's too many questions, and I'm just wondering, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting, and those answers never come. So that's just part of the problem. Another part, and this is a huge plot hole. So in the movie, and this isn't really a spoiler because it's on the posters, literally on the posters. What sets Florence Pugh's character off is that one day she's out shopping and she sees a plane. It's in the sky and it's crashing and crashing and it crashes somewhere off in the distance, somewhere off in the restricted area. And she's on the trolley. He's like, no, we got to go out there. And the trolley guy's like, no, I can't go out there. I can't go out there. And I'm wondering, okay, is this guy a program or is he actually a real person? It's like, no, I can't go out there, whatever. I don't know. But anyway, she goes out there and she never finds a plane, never sees the plane. But she finds, I guess, the home base or something. And she touches the home base and that briefly wakes her up. But they have to subdue her back in. But the point is, the plane. What about the plane? Why was there a plane crash? If this is all one giant simulation, why was there a plane crash? Was her, like, did she have a plane crash trauma? And that was like waking up in the back of her mind. And there's another character, she involved with the plane, and her son was like planes. But what about the plane? Why was there a plane crash? Where did the plane come from? Is the plane part of the project? Was the Chris Pine character who's just messing with her, saying, I'm bored. Let me just do this plane crash and see what happens. Oh, she follows. Oh, she went to the restricted zone. She's about to wake up. Hey, everybody go get her. I didn't really think this through. The plane is in the trailer. It's on the poster. And at no point is it explained. There's also a point where Florence character, she's like cleaning the window, and next you know, the back wall presses against her, and she's being squished between the wall and the window, and then she's released. And it's like, again, why? Is that Chris Pine's character messing with her again? Is that her subconscious trying to fight the programming? Is it just something weird that Olivia Wilde, the director, wanted to put in, just like Jordan Peele in the movie Nope? He has that big old section about the attacking chimpanzee that, while it does connect to the main plot, it's kind of just there because he just wanted to make it. There's all these questions, all these weird. Why was there a plane crash? What did the plane crash do? Where did the plane crash go? Are other people seeing the plane crash? Is the plane crash part a signal to the designers of the fantasy world that, hey, something's wrong? The plane crash, total 100% plot hole. I couldn't believe it. All right, next thing. Now, this is just something I found fun, which also made me suspect that something weird was going on. There's a scene. Uh, Basically, Florence Pugh's routine is like right before the husband comes home, Harry Styles. She has dinner set. She's in a nice dress, got a nice drink ready for her husband, and he comes in, gives her the drink. They kiss a little bit, and she has a nice spread out. And I just found this real funny. Harry Styles comes in and he just wants to have sex, which is fine. But they go on the table where there's dinner, and slowly Pugh is knocking off all the dishes except for the roast. She made this pot roast and it almost burned, and she's like tossing out the roast. And I was like, okay, I'm sure a lot of women are going to love seeing Harry Styles performing oral sex onto Florence Pugh. I'm sure a lot of ladies are going to be jealous and envious that seeing Florence Pugh get it on that way with Harry Styles, and having the fantasy of a husband that really, really wants to get down in that goodness. But I'm also thinking, you just spent probably your good afternoon making dinner, and now almost every dish is on the floor. The plates are on the floor. The silverware is on the floor. The vegetables are on the floor. The side dishes are on the floor. Everything is on the roast. I was like, okay, this is just such a fantasy. I was like, okay, so she must be programmed to give up the goodness whenever he wants. Because later on, they're at the boss's home and they sneak into the boss's bedroom and they start making out, and Harry's using his hands down there. A lot of female pleasuring in this movie, not directly male pleasure. A lot of female pleasuring in this movie. So again, that's sort of, I guess maybe that's a little while. It's like, yeah, there's going to be sex, but it's going to be good for the woman kind of sex, even though the woman's in the sub. Oh, anyway, the point is, I just found it hilarious. Like, I know there's going to be newlyweds in that newlywed type of honeymoon phase where they just want to bang every time they see each other. But it's like, you spent all that time making all that good food, and you're just going to say, "Hey, honey, can we take this to the couch?" That just broke. That was the first thing that sort of broke my suspension of disbelief. I see that a lot in the adult content. How no matter what happens, no matter how angry or whatever, the guy can come in and say one or two things or just touch it somewhere and say, "Oh, okay, honey." So yeah, that must be part of the matrix too. Whenever the man wants it, even if she spent all day cooking, she's going to knock all that good food on the floor and let her get it on. So I just found that ridiculous. But overall, I enjoyed the movie, but too many questions, too many weird things. I would give the movie, if it had a more definitive explanation about what's going on. I guess if she felt, Olivia Wilde felt the mystery is more important than the nuts and bolts. But when you have a 2 hour movie, you need the nuts and bolts. You can get away with not having the nuts and bolts in Twilight Zone because it's simple. It's an hour or a half hour. You do a 2 hour movie, you better provide some nuts and bolts. And this thing that probably nuts and bolts, and there's just so many weird things. But I'm almost out of time. So yeah, I did enjoy the concept of the movie, but the execution, not quite. I would give it let's see, I would give it the grade a B minus. And I was almost gonna say C plus, but B minus because the aesthetics is really good. The recreation of the 50s, the cars, the houses, the fashion, the music, the setting, that's pretty cool. And there's also a brief burlesque performance, so but yeah, B minus. So yeah, that's my thoughts. That's my rant. That's my feelings about Don't Worry, Darling. I hope this broadcast is good. Thank you for watching, and remember, find inspiration everywhere.